I learned cooking from my mom and my grandma, especially my grandma. She was very traditional of a way of cooking. She pickled everything in the summertime, and my grandpa was butchering in the cellar. And she used the whole animal. She was cooking sauce out of the bones, different cuts, and I really loved it. I loved watching her. Her skills of cooking. And that's why I wanted to make my own restaurant. And I did it. I opened up my own restaurant in Hamburg, and it was amazing, showing the people this Nordic way of cooking. And then I closed it. It didn't feel right anymore. My name is Brian Boysen. Join me on my journey to Scandinavia. I grew up in Denmark. It's a small country, 5 million people. And I come from a small village with 2,000 people. Beautiful. And as a young guy, it was clear to me, I always wanted to see the whole world, travel it. So I left Denmark, and my first stop was Germany. And from there, I explored the whole world. I traveled the world cooking with my surfboard back then. And in the last years, I totally came back to my roots, where I come from, Scandinavia. There's nothing more beautiful for me than exploring here up in the north. This is truly my home where I feel comfortable. One of my biggest dreams was to travel whole Scandinavia in a caravan. And I did that for 1 year. I explored everything from the heaviest rain, snowstorms, the most beautiful sunsets, northern lights. I cooked on the most unique places. It was raining, stormy, it was cold, it was sunny. I got the full experience. On my journey, Julian, my cameraman, joining me and filming everything. And Martin, my kitchen chef. Martin, was machst du?
Jemand wollte den Grill ins Wasser stellen. Ich weiß gar nicht, wo der ist, der daran grillen wollte.
And we have become a really close team. We've been traveling up and down from Denmark, Sweden, Norway, more than 20,000 kilometers in the last year. And it's amazing to have this experience with those guys.
But you can ride out every wave like an alibi. Your past won't leave.
When you're out there in the nature, it's just like everything slows down. Life passes by in slow motion. This gives you this power that you need maybe on bad days. It fills me with energy just being out there. In sunny weather or bad weather, it doesn't matter. It's just being out there and everything is so calm. Nature shows you to shift down like a few more gears, not to drive as fast anymore.
Just run to the
even on a rainy day when you stand there and a waterfall like this gives you so much energy. And when you travel through Norway in spring, you see a lot of them. Norway is definitely the land of the thousands of waterfalls.
But I swear it's in the morning when the sun comes out. Your God won't talk. Your God won't talk. But he'll sing within your blood and he just won't stop.
Photography had always been my passion. Actually, since I've been a little boy, I started to watch my dad taking photos with his Olympus, and I was allowed to take it out and play with it, and it got me really curious. You know, the way that you see the world today through the eyes of a camera makes you travel totally different. You always try to make a picture of something that maybe not be as nice and as beautiful, but the way you take it, you can make it special. So you travel totally different. You see the world totally different. So this opportunity to picture a moment and keep it for the rest of your life. That's what it makes it so special for me and beautiful. Atlantic Ocean Road has always been a big mark on my bucket list. When we were traveling the way over there, it started raining. The weather was getting really bad. And you know, I always had this picture of my caravan coming over the bridge, and it should be sunny and shine and nice weather. But it was terrible, raining. Like the rain came from underneath, actually. It was unbelievable. And we decided still to do this picture. So I got out of my caravan and the rain just hit me in the face. It was bad. The waves were like smashing against the rocks. But in the moment when the caravan came over this bridge, the sky somehow cleared up behind me and it stopped raining. And you could see the caravan coming over the bridge, and in the back it was still really dark, and the waves were hitting the rocks and the water was flowing in the air. And that was actually the moment it made it perfect. At the end, it was this perfect shot, you know, because the whole nature around it just made it look so cool. You don't always have to have this blue sky and nice weather to make a good shot. Sometimes this really nasty weather is the right thing. When you leave the ocean behind you and you pass the border from Norway into Sweden, everything changes. The mountains get smaller and the forest gets bigger. It's totally different. And we were traveling early in the morning and suddenly we saw a moose in the forest next to the road. It's beautiful.
Spend most of my matches back against the ropes. There's a cry in my eyes and I wanna watch it burn. Kill the man that I was and send the ashes to the urn. But I need to win. Get me back on my feet. A strong footing to get my punches some heat. Instead of all this shit. Broken bones.
war die Aufnahme. Geil.
So geil.
Got you. What a shot.
When you travel through Sweden, you have rights called everybody's right. You could actually park almost everywhere with your caravan, and you are allowed to pitch a tent, even in the garden of somebody. They cannot kick you out for one night. It gives me this feeling of freedom. You can park your caravan almost everywhere, start cooking, and that's really special.
I need to win one. Get me back on my feet.
Mega. Warte, das ist Frühstück.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Alter.
I need to win one. Get me back on my feet. A strong footing to get my punches some heat.
Guys, it's really an honor. The Swedish showing the Danish how to eat the source to the meat, as they say. And this is the right and traditional way.
To get my punches some heat. Instead of all these shadows. Might have broken
Okay.
might have broken but you got strong. 'Cause I need to win one. Get me back on my feet. A strong footing to get my punches some heat. I need to win one. Get me back on my feet.
When you travel through Sweden, you see a lot of reindeer, and it could actually be dangerous sometimes because they come really close to the roads.
Win one. Get me back on my feet. A strong footing to get my punches some heat. I need to win one. Get me back on my feet.
It's an amazing animal. What is so cool about them, because you could actually recognize the male and the female in the wintertime, because it's only the female that has antlers. The male loses it. So the female in the wintertime needs more food because it's already pregnant. To protect the holes that they dig for food, it still keeps the antlers. They can actually keep the males away from the hole that they dig. And that the evolution had made that, I think that's so cool. If you want to experience Sweden in the wintertime, you have to go on a dog sled. It's amazing. The dogs are so anxious. They want to get out there. They want to get into running. You can feel it. They are happy. And then they let it go, and the sled goes off, and everything becomes silent in the same moment. It's unbelievable. will see it from a totally new perspective. It's beautiful. Traveling up and down in Sweden, we hooked up with Jimmy. He's a hunter and a chef from the south, and he has his own land where we can go out and we will hunt and we will fly fish together, cook together. Just being around him and his family, spending time celebrating midsummer, getting out into nature and collecting mushrooms, just getting together on the open fire and start cooking with all this experience that we get from each other, hanging out and cooking. It's always a must on our travels now to get together with him.
Hope is yours to take. Joy is what we make. Carried by sinners, lost at sea. Peace is found in grace.
Sharing different ideas makes me become a better chef. For us, it's always a must to stop with Jimmy and hang out with him for a few days. It's just a beautiful area, and I always love to come back. So on our journey, we wanted to stop at Trollstigen. It's in the middle of Norway. It's an amazing place. It's a huge waterfall coming down, and you have those serpentines, so where you drive up and you actually drive up straight next to the waterfall and then all the way up to the top. So we arrived early in the morning, end of May, and at the same moment the snowplow came down.
So, also, der Schneeflug ist gerade runtergekommen mit frischem Schnee. Denn wir fahren jetzt da den ganzen Weg hoch und dann geht es am Wasserfall vorbei und dann geht es zack, 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 riesen Serpentinen bis oben hin. Und anscheinend ist da richtig viel Schnee. Aber ich bin mal echt gespannt.
It was full with snow, and we were like, hey, what's going on? And then we actually found out that we were so lucky because when you go up, at the end you can pass over to the other side of the mountain, and it just opened that morning for the first time of the year. Normally it opens a little bit later, but for us it was open, and we drove up there, and Julian couldn't get enough, so he just jumped out of the car and he started his drone.
And we know the change will surely come. Baby, one more trip around the sun. But we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as
So when you reach the peak and you drive over the mountain and try to hit the other side, everything is white. You're totally covered with snow everywhere. And we were the first to drive along there. It was beautiful.
The change is surely come. Baby, one more true round song. And we know the change.
When you pass over on the other side of the mountain, everything gets green again. It just opens up. There's one big fjord to another. And Julian just couldn't get enough of flying those steep walls down. We were just traveling from one place to another. We couldn't get enough. And then we arrived to this beautiful place. We unpacked our little bamboo grill, which we bought in the supermarket, totally sustainable. We put up our fish that we caught by our own and some local meat. You sit there, you have this beautiful view, local meat, your own fish you caught, and then you make some nice tacos.
I was waiting in the undertow. I was waiting in the undertow. Set adrift and fed away like bones. Unaware where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow.
The sun starts to go down and it's actually in the middle of the night. It's unbelievable because sunset takes like 2 hours or even more. And it will never go down. It will actually move all the way on the same spot and then start going up again. And that's what's happening when you travel in the north part of Scandinavia in the summertime. It's so cool.
I fell asleep within an autumn flow. I never knew I'd drift so far from home. While I was waiting in the undertow, and I was dreaming of a love.
So you sit there, enjoy this incredible view, a nice glass of wine with your friends. That's it. Sometimes it can be so easy, but still tasty and totally satisfying. Keep it simple and it will be amazing. Limfjorden is an amazing place in the north of Denmark. It's where I go out and hunt lobsters with my bare hands. And that's actually what sustainability is about. You have to hunt or fish your own animal. If you can't, you should definitely try to see where it comes from and if it has been treated right. It's what I'm trying to put into my way of cooking today, my way of living. So what happened to the modern Scandinavian cuisine is actually in the year 2000, a lot of immigrants arrived in Scandinavia and they brought a lot of different good products. And the chefs adapted it to traditional way of cooking. And chefs actually travel from all around the world to the Scandinavians to see what they are creating nowadays. So that means it's not uncommon to cook with soy sauce or chilies anymore. And it actually gives it that twist that makes it so much better. So for me, it's not a problem anymore to cook a lobster in a peanut butter sauce with cilantro. It just suits the time, it's totally perfect. It's modern, it's sustainable, and it's bringing nature back on the plate. And that's why the Scandinavian kitchen has become the best kitchen in the world for me.
Mega.
I love going out there and catch my own fish and putting on the fire straight away. It makes me be close to my ancestors. We have done that for thousands of years, and actually in Scandinavia it has always been about surviving, because you needed the energy of the food to survive the cold. It was hot the way that they were cooking. It was just putting it on fire and getting energy out of it. We have done that for thousands of years. Fishing, hunting, putting it up, open fire, cooking. It had all been about surviving. Cooking on open fire has become my truly passion. It takes me back to the beginning of the cooking in Scandinavian, back to Scandinavian cuisine, where it comes from. It's not like a regular kitchen where you can stand on the stove and then you can turn off the heat like up and on like you want it to. Here is hot. You have to put the fire on and off. You have to work really hard to make the food perfect. And it's never the same because the fire is like a living element. It moves all the time. So you have to feel it when you cook on it. And you have to take care of it because your food can quickly be ruined. I would say it's pure survival. Salztraum is an amazing place for fishing. You have the strongest maelstrom in the world. You have the Golfstrom, which ends up there. And you have the cold water which comes down from the mountain, and it all mixed up together with the current going in and out. And fishes love that, that's for sure. When you're at Salztraumen, you can catch fish, different sizes, all over the place, and the nature is beautiful. You can feed the eagles, you will see the moose, and the wildlife is amazing. One fish that I really love to catch at Salztraum is a mackerel. It's the little brother of the tuna. In September, October, it's amazing because it's really fat. So when you cook it on open fire, it gets so tasty. When we catch a lot of mackerels, we invite friends to join us on one of the stone hills in the back. And you have this stunning view all around and even down on Salztraum. And then you sit up there and you cook the mackerels on open fire, make a little taco. It's really, really amazing. With the view and this fresh caught fish with friends. And then we cook the mackerels on a plancha. make a taco, some green stuff on top of it, just a little bit of lime, some chili mayo, and it's perfect.
Ah, so idyllisch hier draußen, ne? Martin, guck mal die geile Natur an. Aber was ist das? Paparazzis!
Now we're joining Kurt. Kurt is absolutely halibut whisperer. I don't know how he does it, but if you want to catch a halibut and you are in Salztraumen in March or April, you should definitely join Kurt. He knows his way around and he will help you. This time of the year you only have a few hours of light to catch your fish. The sun goes up like 10 o'clock in the morning and it will go down again at 1 o'clock. It isn't really much time. We went out to get a halibut, which has been my biggest passion for a long time. I always wanted to catch a halibut for cooking. I think it's the best fish you can eat in the north. So we went out. You need a bait fish, a little bait fish, and it's actually pretty hard to catch small fish this time of the year. We got a few, and after that we drove back into the fjord because it was pretty windy outside. I put down my bait and started fishing. And I don't know how he does it, but he somehow feels it. Then you are there, you're waiting, and you're rolling up really slow. And you could see my rod was really going down, and he was like, wait. And then he says, strike! Caught it. It was on. I hooked it. We brought it on the boat and I caught my first keeper. It was amazing. And in the same evening, we cooked it. And that's what I love. Halibut is an amazing fish for eating. Next to Salztraumen, there is Bodø. It's a small town. From there you can take the ferry over to the Lofoten, one of the most beautiful places in Norway. And on the Lofoten, there's this little town called Henningsvær. It's a small fishing town built on various islands. It's really unique and beautiful. You have those really steep cliffs next to it when you travel there. And then at the end, you have to travel over steep bridges to get there. What they did is they built this soccer field on one of the small islands. Which I think is one of the most popular soccer fields in the world. So when you travel to Henningsvær in April, there will be hanging fish everywhere. They dry it there. The dry fish, which is also known as bacalhau in Portugal, and they use the head for fish soups. It goes to Ghana. What's also nice here, they use the whole animal. But when you go to Henningsvær this time of the year, you must really love this little beautiful town, because when you get out of the car, it just smells like fish everywhere. But the dry fish is really, really good. What's really intense on the Lofoten Island is the weather. The changes that they make up there. I haven't felt or seen anything like that anywhere else in the whole world. We were chasing northern lights down south, and we could see that the weather was not changing and the cloud kept staying. It would not clear up, so we decided to go north. And we heard on the radio that there was like a small storm coming in. And in the end, the small storm turned into a huge snowstorm. On the way, we stopped at this small surf beach because the waves were looking really nice and we wanted to take pictures of it. And we got out and got down to the beach. It just got worse. The storm got heavier, the wind was blowing. You couldn't almost walk anymore. It was like sand, wind, snow, everything straight in your face. I've never felt anything like that. You'll be on the beach and my beard was frozen in just 2 minutes. It was so cold outside. It's the first time that you feel how small we really are on this planet, but I felt so much alive. I was happy. We got back in the caravan and started driving, but it was almost impossible to get anywhere. So we had to find a shelter for the caravan to stand there for a night before we could pass on in the morning.
Oh, was eine Nacht gestern, das war schon echt krass, muss man sagen. Heftigster Sturm, den ich lange erlebt habe, war Wahnsinn, das Ganze. Aber jetzt guckt euch das mal an hier. Wir haben noch so einen kleinen Stellplatz gefunden, wo wir wenigstens Strom gekriegt haben für die Nacht. Jetzt fahre ich und Julian weiter Richtung Norden jetzt und versucht er jetzt oben wieder Licht, wo es vielleicht nicht ganz so doll schneit.
And then we arrived to this beautiful beach and we realized today is going to be the day. The sky was clear. If we will see northern lights, it will be tonight. So we got out, started looking for places to put up our gear, to make the photos and for the filming. And you should not forget, we had minus 16 degrees outside. It was freezing, it was cold. So we were waiting and waiting. So I got back in the van to heat myself up for a little bit. And suddenly Julian comes in and tears me out and said, "Look." And I got out of the caravan and I looked up to the sky and it was green all over the place. It was the first time that I could really see it with my own eyes. It was moving. It was so intense. It was unbelievable. So in that moment you start panic because it could go away really fast and you wanted to have that photo. So we hurried up, got out, started filming, and it was unbelievable. It just kept on firing all night. We spent the next 3 days outside every night, filming and taking photos. I've never seen anything like it. It was incredible. I actually can't describe it in words, but we were lucky and it was so beautiful.
Oh, geil. Jungs, guck mal da oben drüber.
In this fast-living life we have today, I think it's important that we sometimes leave our comfort zone, make something extreme. It can be travel from one place to another, sleeping outside in a sleeping bag by minus 20 degrees, or climbing a mountain. Something that makes you make this extra step in your life where you really leave your own comfort zone, because it will give you the power. You will feel life different. And you have so many extreme bad days in your normal life, and that will help you to get over it, be more happy with yourself. I think it's really important that we at least once a year leave our comfort zone to try something extreme to make our life more happy. Traveling has always been a big part of my life. I have been cooking in the summertime, and in winter I took my surfboard and I traveled around the world. So this is what you find in my way of cooking today. It was always important to me to see different cultures, was how they were living, the cooking skills that they were using. And that's what makes it so exciting, being on the road, meeting new cultures, new people, see how they cook, simply being out in the nature and cooking.
Wir haben hier lecker gegessen, wie ein Traumkranz in den Bergen.
Look at this.
It's so fucking good.
And that's the moment where I truly feel alive. I can be cooking in the sun, on the beach, it doesn't matter. But up in the north, that's where I feel alive. All this inspires me to my way of cooking today, and that's why I closed my restaurant. So in the end, it didn't feel right. Cooking in the same kitchen every day totally limited my creativity. And that's why the way that I'm living now is the right way for me. I'm on the road cooking all over the world, especially in Scandinavia. The love for the animals, sustainability, cooking seasonal and cooking regional. Putting nature back in focus and bringing that on the plate. That's the wild Scandinavian cooking.
So, gestern habe ich ja von Venus Seafood einen sehr, sehr tollen großen Hummer gekriegt. Und ich glaube, die meisten von euch haben gedacht, dass ich ihn essen würde. Aber nicht alles kommt bei mir auf den Tisch. Die Jungs haben ihn gefangen. Ich werde ihn heute wieder freilassen. Geht los, mein Freund. Ab nach Hause mit dir. Tschüss.